Hi, this is Pete Singer. I'm here at SEMICON West 2017 with Paul Rawlings, who is the president of the Edwards Semiconductor Services Division. And we're talking about data in the subfab and data in general and how that's being used to help accelerate the industry and maintain costs and improve yield and that kind of thing. So Paul, what do you see going on in the industry right now in terms of data management?
Well, Pete, so connectivity, I think, is really the first part of the game, and this is what we've been concentrating on for a little time. We've had a platform in the industry which we use in the subfab to connect our equipment for a little bit of time, and really we're progressing that at the moment. We have a new version of that, but really it's more than just connecting the tools and getting data and logging history and tracking current status, which was, I suppose, the previous state of the art. Where we're really going to now is kind of life cycle monitoring. So for us, what we think is interesting in the whole kind of new data area is how much we can actually log from, let's say, taking our equipment in the factory, where we actually, we have data, we have performance of it when it finishes test. We take it through into the subfab, where we then actually hook it up and we actually get its first kind of fingerprint of performance. We start running that equipment and we're actually now tracking all the performance and the various different steps on it, which could be temperature, it could be pressure. And then we start looking at excursions and differences, and we record those, and we then moving into predictive. So there's a whole range of things. But where I think it really then steps up, and this is where it's kind of really moving, is how do you connect that with everything else that's going on in that ecosystem in the fab? And then maybe even also as we take our equipment and we remanufacture it, how do we bring that data back in? So this huge amount of data, and the ability for us all to actually connect it, the kind of explosion of data sciences and people actually looking at these things and try to make the connections, and then, but why? I guess it's still a question, why are you doing that? And the real, for us it's about how do we improve the customer's total cost of ownership, whether that's extending lifetime of our products, services, or probably more critically making sure that you can run to the maximum lifetime of the product before you service it. And that way you avoid any crashes, you avoid downtime, and those are all of those kind of critical issues. So connectivity is massively important, but the real step forward is how you take the data, how you link it, and then how you actually hook yourself into the ecosystem of the fab. And that's where I think the industry is moving, and that's certainly for us where we're trying to really play in the subfab and make these kind of connections between what we do, what the tool is doing, and perhaps even beyond that into all of the operations of the subfab.
Okay, and because we're here at SEMICON, there's a new semi-standard, I think it's E129, that relates to the connectivity of the tools, and I believe EtherCAT is being looked at as the main standard to move that forward. Can you comment a little bit on that and how that's enabling what you do?
Well, so for Edwards again, and many customers. Again, the whole kind of point of these things is to make sure that we communicate with each other and we do it in a way that's open, and we've been fully part of that process of generating that standard, which as we all know takes quite a few years, but we've been part in that, and we're very excited about that opportunity to make sure that we all communicate in the same way, we have the same kind of messages, and that we can have the same data dictionary so that when we communicate with each other. And this is really all about then how you move forward into providing kind of environmental messages, green modes, so that you can actually get your tool to minimize the amount of energy at the right time. And again, this is how we should be working as an industry, and I think the semi-industry has a lot to be proud of in the way that we actually do work together to develop these standards so that we move forward together and reduce the amount of energy used. And EtherCAT, of course, is a really good step forward. Again, it's something that we would enable in our equipment, as also, of course, many other people in the industry. And again, comms, making sure that we connect, making sure that we use the right kind of messages is key, and I think it's another good, really fast forward kind of movement in the industry.
Okay, Paul, thank you. That's great information.